Welcome back to the Senior Spaces podcast, where we explore how seniors will live the next chapters of their life. This is an offshoot of the reality show I made, Senior Spaces, which you can find on YouTube right now. And we are starting to talk about episode 2, but the pilot episode is there. We have a behind the scenes video, lots of good videos there. So check it out at Senior Spaces TV on YouTube. This show is designed to do a deeper dive into the subjects that we cover on the TV show. Should people age in place? Should they downsize and move into maybe a smaller home? Or maybe they should consider senior living. So we bring in guests to explore those different areas and help people get the resources they need to navigate the next chapter of their lives. So in the show, it is designed for seniors, for their families, everyone who needs to understand all these different resources that are available to them. So I do ask you to subscribe to the show. It's on YouTube. It's also on Spotify. Invite some friends to watch it, send it to them, share it amongst people who, again, need these resources, because there's a big gap between the number of people who need resources and all the resources that are truly out there for them. I was especially excited for today's guest. So Robbi Hogan is here, and she is with Redwood Terrace in Escondido. Robbi's been a friend for several years and a very strong supporter of the work I do in helping seniors downsize their homes and move into senior living. And I was very excited when Human Good, which is the company that Redwood Terrace is a part of, supported the show. So it was very exciting to have them part of the journey that we made the show. And when I reached out and I begged Robbi to come on the show, she reluctantly said yes, but she's here today. So Robbi, we're going to talk about yourself and Redwood in just a moment, but I wanted to share some stats with the audience, which I found a little bit alarming as I was doing some research for this. So about 90% of seniors who have been surveyed, they say they want to age in place in their current home. They're comfortable there. They feel like they can navigate that next chapter in their own home. But about 46% have taken the steps to do that. So what about the rest of the people who say they want to age in place, but maybe they haven't done what they need to do and maybe need to consider other options? The other stat I found was that the cost of care for seniors is going up at a rate of about 8% a year, higher than the normal inflation rate. So it gets to be very expensive. And so there are some options for people who don't want to deal with that spiraling cost of care or even staying in their own home. And that is a community like Redwood Terrace. So Robbi, tell us about Redwood Terrace.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on.
My
And I
pleasure.
do appreciate being invited. Thank you. Yes, Redwood Terrace is a human good community. So, to tell you about Redwood Terrace, I'll tell you just a little bit about Human Good. Human Good is formed from two very well known, established nonprofit organizations that came together with the same mindset for realizing a 55 plus, for having a life and communities, being able to be over 55 years old and what that would look like. And they formed in 2017 and became Human Good. And so today, Human Good serves over 13,000 residents,
Wow.
6,000 team members, and in 23 life plan communities, which are the type of communities you're talking about. And we also have over 100 affordable housing communities.
Oh, that's great.
So the mission is simply that we truly believe that everyone should have the opportunity to live with enthusiasm, confidence, and security, no matter what the physical, social, or economic circumstances. So we really want people to be able to be inspired to live their best lives. So Redwood Terrace is in Escondido, California. We're one of the 23 life plan communities, and we are 8 acres. It's in kind of the southeast sort of portion of Escondido, central south portion of Escondido, and we have cottages and homes and apartments, and we have all 4 levels of care: independent living, assisted living, memory support, and skilled nursing. So back to that plan of being able to meet an aging adult, no matter what stage of life they're in. Redwood Terrace is well positioned to do that. And I am the director of sales and marketing, and I have been happily with Redwood Terrace and Human Good for 10 years now.
Wow. Wow, 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years. I can't believe It really did go by pretty
Yeah,
fast.
it really
I
did.
met you right
Yeah.
after I got to Redwood
Yeah, the
Terrace.
first time
Yeah.
we met was at a fundraiser for
Hmm.
Foundation for Senior Wellbeing. I remember that in Vista. You have a great team. I love your team. I
Thank
mean,
you.
you and your team just do a great job, and I've seen you in action, with your
Mhm.
residents. So let's take a quick step back, because there's sort of two different types of senior living communities. There are what they call life plan.
Mhm.
Sometimes people refer to them as buy-in communities,
Mhm.
and then there are those that are strictly just month-to-month rent.
Yes.
What differentiates one from the other?
Well, that's a great question. So, with your life plan communities, it's just they're two completely different programs, and there's not a one way is the right way to do anything. These are choices that people have, just like you mentioned at the beginning. One choice is to be able to stay at home. Some people want to stay at home until they absolutely have to have care. So those for profit month to month programs are primarily designed to be assisted living and memory care. And so those would be in place a little bit more for those folks that have stayed home until they have to receive some care if getting care in home isn't an option. And then our life plan communities, like our human good communities, they are designed to have all four levels of care. So they're designed to be a retirement community where you retire to get out from under house maintenance and housekeeping and cooking but you don't and landscaping, for
Yeah.
instance, but you don't necessarily need help with showers or dressing or bathing yet, which is what is considered care.
Hmm.
So you're still getting those other things taken off of you, which gives you the opportunity to shift your energies. And in the life plan community, we're offering all four levels of care, where the for profit communities are typically offering two to three. There's typically not skilled nursing on the
And
campus
that's a
to,
huge
yeah,
difference.
to answer specifically. Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's interesting because, people say, I'm not going to move to that place.
Hmm.
I'm not, because the perception of senior living
Hmm.
in the past has been it's the convalescent home of
For
old,
sure.
day old soup and saltine crackers. And that's where
Yeah.
you go at the very, end of life. But you're talking about people moving in way before that,
Hmm.
where they don't want to have to deal with, like you said, all the maintenance and stuff. I joke with my wife, I'm ready now. You guys won't take me. Not yet. I'm still too young. But I can see the benefits. And the clients who I've worked with who've moved into your community, I have seen
Yeah.
how much better off they are when they do it. I like the fact that you have skilled nursing too, because a lot of times, seniors may be at a certain community where something happens
Yeah.
physically and they need to go off campus and then come back. But here, everything is right there. Like you said, it's a retirement community, and they're getting socialization
Hmm.
as well, which is really important, as you've seen probably with your residents too.
Yeah, well-being is very important, meeting all the aspects of well-being. And there's a really good example I'll tell you of a couple that moved in, and they moved into one of our what we have our detached homes. They're single family homes across the street because we were a little landlocked on our
Yeah,
6 acres, and the only way to expand the campus was to start to buy the real estate across the street. And
that's I
then
think it's amazing.
it's so fun. And then we renovate it, to our standards, and they get all the same amenities and services as if they were, over on the main campus. But so they moved in, and then they have a attached garage and a fenced backyard. So this couple moved in to one of the houses across the street. And then Mr. was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease after they had come to Redwood Terrace and were already well established with friends, had been able to take advantage of all the social opportunities and just really get integrated into the community. So when that started to happen, he had his skilled nursing. He would go to the hospital, and this is as it was progressing. And he would go to skilled nursing, and then they would do post acute care and getting back home across the street to the house. And then as time went on, he ended up needing to be in skilled nursing permanently. At that point, Mrs. determined that she would downsize out of the house to a one-bedroom apartment on the main campus, which would be a little bit closer to getting back and forth to skilled nursing. But there she had her sweetheart right on campus with her. She was able just to walk up the sidewalk, go over, have lunch with him, bringing over to the dining room still, spend time with him. Eventually, because he's living there permanently, eventually he did pass away, and she was surrounded by people who had been with them now for a few years.
Yeah.
She had her established support group available to her. And that's a big difference, being able to do all of that and walk through all of that experience in life in their latter years, and have that kind of support and stay together.
And that's the one word I was thinking of when you just said is support.
Hmm.
Having that community.
Yeah.
Community is not just a physical place.
Yes.
It's the people that are there, the support system that you have for the emotional
Hmm.
times, etc.
Hmm.
It's valuable. And moving in earlier, and most of the people that you find that usually do better, are they moving in younger maybe and taking advantage of it, or does it not really matter because no matter what age you are, you can find that extra level of energy like you talked about?
Hmm. No, it really does matter. And what's so special is that when we bring new people into Redwood Terrace to show them the community and tour them through homes, and they meet our residents, one of the first things that our residents will say to them is, please don't wait too long.
Yeah.
You need to come sooner. And many of them will say, we should have come 5 years sooner. I hear that so very often. And it's because it does give you the opportunity to really become established and take full advantage of all the amazing things that are going on, all of the exercise opportunities, the social aspect, the outings and the trips that we do, and concerts and entertainment and everything, and be able to really fully enjoy your community and all that's being offered. So
Absolutely.
it's wonderful.
Yeah. You had a couple other examples of people that
Yeah.
you've worked with. Give us another one.
Well, let's talk about our single older adult that one of their spouses has passed away at home before they've moved to Redwood Terrace. And they find themselves very disoriented with their life partner having just left. I mean, what a time to be going through. They are more isolated. And that's not to say people don't have support systems outside of a community. They do. And sometimes they don't. Sometimes their children aren't around. Or if they're aging, it's getting harder to go to church. We see a lot of support through people's, spiritual organizations. But sometimes it gets hard to go. Or through the grief process, it just gets hard to want to get up and go.
Right.
So when they'll come to Redwood Terrace, move into Redwood Terrace, and I'll ask them, we'll be talking and get to know them, and I'll say, what do you like to do? What do you find enjoyment in doing? And I hear many times things like, I used to swim. I used to play this instrument. I used to dance. I used to sing, but I just don't find myself doing that anymore.
Yeah.
And then we get to see them come to Redwood Terrace, and we get them in and we get through that process, because it's a process, and that's where you and I are together
Right.
working that process.
That's right.
And we get them in, and then it takes a minute, for them to get their like sea legs, so to speak, under them. But then we just watch this transformation happen, and then we watch them all of a sudden find their singing voice again, or pick up that paintbrush again and start doing art, and join, and not only sometimes just join a group that's existing, but create a group.
Really.
And it has to do with that energy shift that I talk about,
Yeah.
and that I really believe in, because when you're living in your home, and as we're growing adults and aging, there's an energy. We only have so much energy to give out.
Yeah.
And if we're giving all of that out to, home maintenance and landscaping, or even if you have people coming in to do those things, you still have to organize the appointments. And if they cancel, and all those things, and cooking and cleaning and taxes and home improvement. And when you get out from under that and you get into a community, and then those things are taken care of for you, you all of a sudden have this extra energy that allows you to give it out, to do these things that bring you back that joy.
Yeah.
And I watch this transformation happen. It's pretty special.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
amazing. And you are speaking to the choir, and I hope a lot of people are going to listen to this and watch this, because you and I both see it so much where, they're like the energy they have at home. They maybe if they've just lost someone, all their energy was going to caring for them.
That too. Yep.
And so what's left for them?
Yes.
What energy is left for
Yeah.
them?
That
And
that's
they give
another
it back.
that's another group, so I like to call them mixed care couples,
Okay.
where one of the spouses is the caregiver, and the other spouse, has something, ailment,
Yeah.
physical or cognitive, that's happening. And so the caregiving spouse is getting exhausted at home, And the spouse who needs care often doesn't recognize that, and that's fair. And if it's cognitive, that would be the reason they're not recognizing. Sometimes if it's physical, their minds are just too wrapped up in what's going on. But the spouse who's giving the care can really start to become really burned out and really start to have some things physically and socially and mentally, emotionally, that go on with them. So we bring the mixed care couple to Redwood Terrace so that not just the spouse who needs care starts to receive the care, so that then let's say Mrs. needs the care in this scenario and Mr. has been the caregiver. Well, they come to Redwood Terrace, and so now Mrs. is able to get care from our team members at Redwood Terrace, and they're doing the shower and they're doing the transferring and the dressing and the
All the
things,
stuff that the other spouse was doing.
all the things. And but not only are those, so then Mr. then is able to get that time back, which gives him back some more of that energy, but also then his needs are being met because we have all the programming, the social programming, and the meals that are already, because that person's also been doing meals. So then the meals are prepared for them, and the social aspect and getting out with peers and engaging. And that can be on any range because not everybody's a social butterfly.
Right.
Some of them come in and they don't want to be engaged in everything.
Sure.
But they still are receiving that help. And so then we see that shift, and then people it's just absolutely a fact. They just will live longer.
Right.
Because they're getting that help.
Well, and also too, because the person who was the caregiver now gets that energy back, they can also redirect it to change their role back to being a spouse.
Oh, that's
from being
good.
a caregiver to being a spouse again. And they can be with their loved one, not out of necessity or guilt. It's out of love, and that's what it should be.
That's so true. And you know where else I see that? With the adult children.
Yeah.
And the parents too, with the adult children. And when the family comes, or the couple comes, or the single man or woman comes to live at Redwood Terrace, then that relationship with that son or daughter can shift back to being the relationship where they're just coming to visit and enjoying the time, and they're not trying to be the adult child that's telling the parent, you've got to do this and you've got to do this, and then the parent's resentful of that because they don't want to be told what to do, or they don't want to share that part of their life with their children because they're the parent. And I see that dynamic all the time. And when they do get to the community, then I get to see this transformation, and I get to see them just coming and then bringing grandchildren and great-grandchildren over to visit. And that, just what you said, they get to be in that relationship again because the other has been taken off of them.
Yeah, and it's fun to see it happen. You know it's going to happen.
Yes.
And they're skeptical, but know what's coming, right?
Yes.
You know what happens when they make the
Yes.
move. And I love going back to visit, some of the clients I've helped, and seeing where they're at and what they're doing, and starting this class and doing that. And it's definitely a blessing.
That's where our beautiful, amazing residents that live at Redwood Terrace come into.
Yeah.
We could not do this without them. We have resident ambassadors, those residents that live with us that want to engage with the people that we are walking through this process with. And it's much more valuable for them to spend time with our residents than it is even myself or my team.
Right.
Because they have been through it. And they know what that process is like, the decision process, the moving process, and life after you get there, why you're getting adjusted. And it's really, because Redwood Terrace is just like a little village.
Yeah.
It's like moving from a neighborhood to a neighborhood. And everybody just looks out for each other, and they just love on each other. And it sounds gooey, but it's really true. And it's true.
Oh, I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand when I bring the ice cream truck after we help someone move in, and I see them come out, and I see smiles.
Yes.
And again, being a life plan community, you're helping lock in that cost of care. So you're not having to worry about the spiraling cost of care if you're at home and you have to bring in care, and it just gets more and more expensive, and all the services are right there.
They are. And there is a cost associated for care at Redwood Terrace. We are a Type B licensed life plan community. So there is a pay for care as you're going along. But it is controlled, as you're saying.
Right.
So there's an annual increase that is controlled. And if you're home, the cost of care, it can go through the roof. There's no control over
limit.
that whatsoever.
Right, for sure. So people need, the takeaway here, folks, is call her now. Don't wait until you think you might be ready, because there's that phrase, being ready. People usually are ready before.
Yeah, I love to have that
I
conversation.
know. We're not ready. Really? What are you not ready
Let's
for?
talk about
And
that.
and I'll leave with this too, is people often say, well, we don't want to lose our independence. And I will challenge them and say, you're going to gain
Mm.
independence. And you listed all the reasons
All the
why
reasons, same
people
thing.
gain their
The
independence.
energy
Yeah,
thing.
it's
Yeah.
night and day.
You get more independence actually in
100%.
many ways. Absolutely.
Right. So you're going to want to give her a call. You can call me and get her information. The
Yes.
information's here. We work hand in hand, to help folks, in this chapter of life. And again, uh, every situation's different, and people may choose to age in place or downsize or move into senior living. Certainly, senior living is a great option, and certainly Redwood Terrace is one of the best options that people can have,
Thank
without a doubt. I've seen it in person.
you.
So appreciate you watching. If you're watching, I appreciate you listening. If you're just listening, subscribe on Spotify, subscribe on YouTube. Also, do check out the Senior Spaces TV show. You can see Human Goods commercial in there as well.
Yay.
You can watch a couple as they navigate the next chapter of their life, and we definitely want to help you navigate the next chapter of yours. Keep listening, watch, subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you next time.